Good day and welcome to another interesting day on the Obidati Family TV. This is Diaspora Diaries and my name is P. Catch. I'm not alone in the studio as I always have my co-host, the delectable, beautiful
Thank you.
Grace.
My name is Ife Grace, and you're welcome to Diaspora Diaries.
Yes. Ife Grace, how was Valentine's Day for you yesterday?
Um, for me, actually, it was not too cool because I wasn't feeling too well.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah,
you
it was
mentioned.
okay.
You sure it was okay?
Yeah, it was fine.
So you did you go out on a date or something?
Not really. Most of my friends came over with gifts and stuff like that.
Okay, interesting,
Yeah.
interesting. Well, for me, I don't know. It wasn't really like a celebration, but there was a meeting, a secular meeting that we
Hmm.
attended yesterday. For the Valentine, and it was beautiful. We saw pictures and videos online.
Have you?
Very oppressing.
I'm telling you.
Yes. All right. It's less than 10 days to the elections, the presidential elections, of course. And on the 25th of February, Nigerians will be going out to vote for their new president and, of course, vice president. On Diaspora Diary, we highlight the roles the Nigerians in the diaspora are playing in this coming elections. All right, and we get to interact with Nigerians that are making a difference in the diaspora. On today's episode of the program, we have joining us all the way from Florida, USA, Prince Will Echebiri, who is a health worker and also an obedient man who is seeking for a new Nigeria. Hello, Mr. Prince Will. You're welcome to the program. All right. Can you tell us how is Florida today?
Well, it's been cold and it's kind of early morning now, around some minutes to 7. So, yeah, Florida is looking cool. Yeah, as always.
Okay. What season is it? Is it autumn
It's
or
it's still
winter?
winter. Yeah, it's still
Winter.
winter kind of. Yeah, it's still yes. Yeah, really. Yesterday was really cold. So yeah.
All right. Let's dive into it. We have about 10 days to the elections. Who is your candidate? Who are you
Yeah,
supporting to be the next president of Nigeria? And what's your reason?
yeah, Peter Obi, of course. And I mean, the reason is out there for everyone to see. This is the man with so much passion to see Nigeria move to where Nigeria ought to be. This is a man with an absolute track record. This is a man with less stain, or even I would say no stain when it comes to, especially in comparison to other politicians in Nigeria or something. So this is a man that has really demonstrated what it takes to be a true leader. So if you keep sentiment aside or every other thing aside, you cannot but love his personality. He's got the strength, just everything you can uh, look forward to see in a leader. Peter V is he just got it all. So that's why I can't but, support him and urge everyone I know around to do the same, especially the ones in Nigeria.
Okay. Before the emergence of Mr. P2B, a lot of young people in this country were uninterested about anything that had to do with politics. In fact, a lot of people had given up hope in the system. And from the NSAS period, we could see the dissatisfaction of young people with the way the government was run. But after P2B emerged, a lot of people started indicating interest. You go out on the streets today and everybody's talking about politics and the upcoming elections. But it wasn't like this before now. Do you agree that the candidacy of Mr. P2B has brought back hope to a lot of Nigerians?
Absolutely. because after the NSAS incidents, or even during the NSAS incidents, one of the things that were told to young Nigerians was that that they need to join politics. They need to, if they want to change, they can't, effect a change through that kind of revolution. They need to join politics. They need to rally around a candidate of their choice, a credible candidate, and all that. So the NSAS was like a wake up call, for the Nigerian youths to also see that look, uh, election have consequences, especially how the answers ended up, the killing of Nigerians at the Lekki toll gate and all that. So now they know that, look, the kind of leaders we choose, the kind of leaders, the kind of people we put in there to lead over us would actually make or mar us. So the youth actually kind of woke up from a kind of a slumber, the voter apathy we used to see with the Nigerian youth before kind of died off. For the first time, we're having things like the what you call the show, BB Niger, and all that. They did it last year. They did the one of this year, which is still ongoing, and no one cares to watch. No one cares. I don't know how many people are watching that show at the time now because people are glued to the Obidati campaign and doing their best to see that Obi makes it to Aso Rock. So it's a kind of a change that I it gladdens my heart and I'm proud to be part of. So that's it. Yeah. So Nigerian youths have actually woken up, and I must say that this is just the beginning because it's a marathon and not a sprint. So it's just the beginning. So the Nigerian elites and the old hearts will just be ready for what's to come. There's more to come. There's heavy, much more to come than even what they are seeing right now. You don't mess with the Nigerian youths. That's just it.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's quite interesting that you mentioned that the Big Brother Naija show, which used to be an attraction for young people in the past, but it's not the same this time around. It's not trending like it used to. So people are more aware of their participation in making a difference, yes, in their government. All right, let's talk about the Labour Party and the obedient movement. All right, so before Peter B came on the scene, or okay, while he just came to the scene, some of the opponents said that the Labour Party didn't have the adequate structure to deliver Peter B as president of Nigeria, that they would not be able to win elections because of the lack of structure. And also, when the obedient movement started initially, it was dismissed as a social media frenzy and something that would die off with time. But over time, we have seen the obedient movement get bigger and bigger and larger with time. Do you think that the Labour Party, as it stands now, has the structure and manpower and all that is required to deliver Peter B and Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed as winners of this election?
Yes, the Labour Party absolutely have the structure because like Peter B would always say himself that the structure are the poor is the poor people you see around you. The structure are those that have been, made to be downtrodden not by their own choice, and the structure are those people who can, travel safely, those who can do their business safely. The structure are those people who the government has refused to, do their own part in taking care of and all that. So it's just so much going on. This structure are the very poor Nigerians you see all around you, in that country, in the country. So it's just all over the place. So the thing is that at the end of the day, um, we get carried away by the so-called the kind of structure we see with the kind of structure we see with the popular political parties, the likes of PDP and APC and stuff like that, and the structure that we all know is a structure of criminality. So Labour Party has the structure. You can see that on the street. You can see that everywhere P2B goes. You can see the support, the massive support he gets from the people, the masses, those who bear the brunt of bad governance that we've had over the years. So that's the structure. That's the structure of the Labour Party. So we're not even talking of some elite, folks somewhere sitting somewhere and or in different states or what have you. That's not the real structure. The real structure are the masses who have really, really, you know, uh, bear the brunt of bad governance in Nigeria over the years. And the bulk of them are standing right behind Peter Obi this time around. And I believe he will win. Yes.
All
With
right.
that kind of
All right.
structure.
We all
Yes.
hope so. Yes. All right, let's come to the diasporans now and their role in this upcoming election. I believe you, as an obedient person, there is a community of obedient people where you are. Tell us about what you and people around you are doing to ensure that Peter B emerges the winner of this election.
Yeah, basically, me and those around me, one of the things we do is, we try to get in touch with, some support groups out there in Nigeria, especially, the ones that needing one form of support or the other. So we try to get in touch with them, find out what they do, make our own contributions from over here. Already, as diasporans, our rights has been taken away as regards, voting uh, from diaspora as to who becomes the president of Nigeria, which is not right, So I wonder why the constitution hasn't been amended in that regard, or I wonder why that hasn't been included in the Constitution. So it's just one of the things that is just painful that the millions of us in diaspora cannot vote. So, but basically, that we cannot vote doesn't mean that we should stay completely aloof and fold our arms and not do anything to contribute to, especially in regards to making sure the most credible and competent candidate is elected. So we do our part, we call people, we try to find out what's going on and keep our ears on the news and on, different forums and all. And like, we listen to Spaces and Clubhouse and other stuff, and just to make sure we stay in touch with developments in regards to the whole thing. So yes, we contribute our own quota. We call homes, we call our people, we call our relatives. We try to convince them based off of the information we have regarding Labour Party and the candidate P2B. So we, convince our people and all that, and just making sure that everyone is in line to vote for the right person come February 25th.
All right, Grace, I'm going to allow Grace to ask her questions now.
Yeah, Mr. Princeville, you made mention of the 1999 Constitution. Do you actually believe that if Mr. P2B emerged as the winner, that he can actually implement that?
Seriously, I believe that I want to believe he will. Like I see him. First of all, P2B is he's a man with a listening ear, so I believe he um, even if he doesn't have, I don't know if he has that. I think he has that in mind. But even if he doesn't or doesn't see that as a priority, I believe he will listen to our cry when the time comes. He's a man that listens. In fact, that's one of the things that I like about him, and that's one of the things many people like about him. He's a man that listens, and it's one of the characteristics you should have as a leader. So he listens. So I believe when we cry out when the time comes that diaspora voting needs to be included in the constitution, and people needs to be start voting from wherever they are. I believe he's going to push it, to the National Assembly and try to see, uh, what could happen in that regard. At least someone needs to start making that move, so that, those of us out there won't be denied the right to vote just because we live in faraway land or something.
Okay, being included in the constitution, like you said, do you think Nigerian as a whole is ready for that?
I mean, it's not rocket science. One of the problems we have in Nigeria is that everything is, these are things that countries like Ghana, if I'm not mistaken, like little countries that there are countries out there that are not even up to Nigeria's capacity in GDP and all that are implementing. So why does everything have to be like cracking the nuts for Nigeria? Like, I mean, what's there? It's all about the will. If the will is there, it will be done. There's nothing. It's not like it's something extraordinary or something near impossible to do. So if they are if they have the will and the zeal to get it done, if they are truly sincere and believe that those who live in diaspora should be able to vote, not be denied their rights to vote because they don't live in Nigeria, then they will go ahead and do the needful to get that included in the constitution. It's as easy as that. That's just it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's great. Still talking about diaspora voting. Do you it's 10 days to election, sorry about that. Do you think that this can actually be possible in the sense that Mr. P2B, sorry, can you just take over?
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take it up from there.
Don't worry.
Mr. Prince Will, do you have faith in the current INEC system? All right. We have seen some kind of discrepancies lately. The recent one was when the official INEC Twitter account liked a post that was calling Mr. P2B an opportunist. Okay, even though the INEC Commission came out to, to say that they were not involved in that and they were going to punish whoever was involved in that. Do you have faith in the current INEC system to deliver a free, credible, and transparent elections?
To an extent, not absolutely. To an extent, I do. To an extent, and here's why. I want to believe that the current INEC somehow also do the bidding of the president to an extent. It's and they put it that way. And so, and if you see the body language of the president, you would also want to agree with me that the president is most likely not in support of his party's candidate because that wasn't the candidate he wanted for the party to begin with. So, and he wants to allow a free and fair election as much as possible because of that. So, yes, INEC may appear, or some folks who work for INEC, to begin with, the person who INEC as a whole body did not hit that like button. It's probably the Twitter handler might just be might have an agbado in his pocket or something. The Twitter handler might be a Tinubu supporter or something of INEC. So he or she decided to do that or something. So, but yeah, we'll say INEC did it because he or she works for INEC. But the truth is that we wouldn't use that to say, oh, INEC is actually partisan something. But like I said, I don't have an absolute belief in them, conducting a fully free and fair election. But to an extent, I believe they will try to do the right thing. But of course, we'll have elements in It's Nigeria we're talking about, so you must have those corrupt folks here and there, no matter how good the institution is. So we must have there are elements in INEC who have been who have probably been bought off by the ruling party to do their bidding and stuff like that. So we can't deny such thing, or we can't say such thing can't happen. So that's why I said I have faith they would do the right thing, but not absolutely like 100%. Because there will be elements who would just want to scuttle things and just get bribed up to do the wrong things.
Okay. We'll be going on a very short break now, but when we come back, we'll continue with the conversation. Mr. Princeville Echebiri is still here with us, and we'll continue the conversation when we come back from this very short break. Don't go anywhere.
Labour Party, Labour Party, Labour Party, Labour Party, LP, can you get a vote? Labour Party, Labour Party, LP, can you get a vote? Labour Party, Labour Party, never say, Mama, Papa, now, Labour Party, Mama, Papa, now, never say, Mama, Papa, now, to be Labour Party, Mama, Papa, now, to Labour Party.
Mr. Peter Obi's administration built from scratch Chukwuemeka Odumegwu University Teaching Hospital with 25 building structures. His government funded transformation of massive infrastructural development, accreditation of 12 health institutions and 2 hospitals, and also built 10 maternal and childcare centers across the state. He is the first governor to purchase medical equipment worth over 135 million naira and 50 ambulances for the health sector in Anambra State, which remain functional till today. He built and equipped Dr. Jonwilo Heart Center in St. Joseph Hospital, Adazinnuku, where heart operations are performed. Anambra State is the first state in Nigeria to distribute more than 30,000 computers to secondary schools. Mr. Peter Obi distributed about 700 buses to secondary schools in Anambra State and built 200 primary school blocks. He donated the sum of 300 million naira to Anglican churches and 440 million naira to Roman Catholic churches to rehabilitate their missionary schools. During his tenure, he gave 1 million naira each to more than 160 first-class graduates. To promote reading culture in the state, he went ahead to build a well-equipped library known as Prof. Kennedy Dike Library, Oka. He also rehabilitated the divisional library in Onitsha and gave 500,000 naira to each secondary school in the state to provide.
You're welcome back to the program Diaspora Diaries on Obidati Family TV. All right, before the break, we have been talking to Mr. Princeville Echebiri all the way from Florida, USA. Mr. Princeville, just before the break, you were talking about INEC and, the confidence that you have in INEC. And, you were not, so certain, like 100% confidence. You didn't give them 100% to be able to deliver free and credible elections. But like you have said, the body language of Mr. President General Muhammadu Buhari states that he wants to leave a legacy of free and fair elections. Also, on the lines of what you mentioned earlier, the squabbles, the internal squabbles within the party, you suggested that Tinubu is not Buhari's preferred candidate or wasn't his preferred candidate. But do we really understand what is going on in the APC? Because there are discordant tunes that we have been receiving. We are not sure what is going on. It was assumed a few weeks ago that Mr. President and Tinubu were at loggerheads and they were not on the same table. But we have seen President Muhammadu Buhari at Tinubu's campaign rallies, even a very recent one in Imo State. And President Buhari was right there with him. What do you make of these internal squabbles in the APC?
Okay, here's the thing, right? President Buhari being at the Tinubu's campaign recently, doesn't change the fact that, his body language has already shown his leaning or what he believes or the way he sees things that's happening, especially in the APC and stuff. So his recent, going out there to raise Tinubu's hand and all is just, you could see that it's like a forced kind of thing, like he's being like, being pushed to do it. This is a man who categorically, said in a letter he sent to the APC folks before the APC primaries, stating that he has been allowing them pick their candidates in the states, pick the candidate they want to kind of, take over from them, especially when their 8 years is done as a governor, or he's been allowing them pick the various candidates and all that, and they should allow him also like pick a consensus candidate for the party or something of that nature. The way he put that in that letter. But at the end of the day, the APC folks didn't succumb to that. Now, Tinubu wanted to have a consensus candidate for the APC because he believed that if things goes to the normal primaries, that nobody would have beat Tinubu. Tinubu is a man that believes that with money he can, he throws money at anything. He has Lagos treasury in his pocket, so he has a very, very deep pocket. So with his money, we know even Buhari himself knew that his candidates, they don't stand a chance. I say candidates because Tinubu had different candidates. In my book, I felt the likes of Amechi, Osibanjo, Ahmed Lawa, and
That's
I think
Buhari down.
one more. Yes, Buhari's. Those were Buhari's candidates. Those were the people on Buhari's list, and none of them emerged as the flag bearer. So if you saw Buhari's countenance during that primaries, if you could go watch it again, you could see that he wasn't happy throughout. Even while the voting was going on, he knew that, look, his candidates, they don't stand a chance, especially when he knows that Tinubu would have done the needful when it comes to, loading out money or giving out money, so much money to the voters, those that will vote in that primaries and all that. So he's aggrieved and he's not happy, and that's why the everything you see playing out, the CBN policy regarding the new naira notes and everything, it's all geared towards like making sure that he clips, the wings of Tinubu's side of 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 APC, and that's why you see them crying every day. Even though Buhari is following Tinubu recently to do campaign, the Tinubu's camp are still lamenting about the new naira, notes, and outphasing the old naira notes and all that. They know that it would affect, that all these policies would definitely affect Tinubu's chances of winning the election, and that's why they are crying every day. And Buhari don't care. He doesn't care. So as it stands right now, Buhari, in fact, would want to think in my heart of hearts that if someone like Atiku ends up winning this election, Buhari would more than prefer it than a Tinubu winning this election. I don't know how Buhari feels when it comes to P2B, but Buhari as an ethnic jingoist that I know, which we also during his 7 years plus in government, making sure that only his people from his tribe and religion, occupy the biggest positions in the country, tells you all you need to know about the kind of person he is. So, somehow Buhari would, since none of his candidates from the South made it, he would prefer maybe an Atiku to win, even though Atiku is from PDP. Believe it or not, that's the way I see it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
Mr.
Grace.
Prince, we're still talking about the new Naira notes. Do you actually believe it's going to affect it only in a positive way? What about the negative way?
Uh, the negative way, in the sense that, uh, I should say the negative way, I would say, the negative way is just, let me just say, it's basically the price people have to pay for now, the sacrifice. Sometimes
Mm,
uh, everything good comes with a form of sacrifice in a way. So the negative is just this sacrifice we're seeing right now. On the day of election, people don't need transportation movement from long distances. People moving with vehicles and all that are restricted. So nobody will say, oh, because I don't have fuel or I don't have money to buy fuel and put in my car, or money for transportation. Because of that, I couldn't vote. First of all, you're supposed to vote in a place close to you where you could walk to and cast your vote. So um, on that day, I don't see any negative this Naira note uh, uh, policy would would portend. So I just feel that um, I see it in a positive light, because the fact that the Tinubu's camp are crying the most tells you all you need to know. So this is a man that they already had a plan to, vote buying plan and all the whatever plan they have. So this thing is really, really, it really rattled them. They didn't see it coming. So that's why they are really, really rattled at the moment and running helter skelter. So whatever negative people out there, those women in Nigeria out there might want to see, the positive in my thinking surpasses the negative, because it will kind of, you know, it's a hindrance. It's a kind of it's an obstacle to their plans. So after that 25th, I believe they might somehow. I see Buhari's government somehow giving a leeway for the people to bring some of the old notes back to the banks, to be taken to CBN and all that. So, but for now, I feel the restriction. Buhari will not listen to Supreme Court, and he won't allow CBN to do that. Central bank, he won't allow them to want to play with what the Supreme Court said and all that. So they will allow the policy to stand so that it will kind of curb vote buying. So when you look at all this, it tells you all you need to know, that Buhari is not with Tinubu. Forget about him, traveling or recently went to campaign with him. He's not with him. That's great.
Yeah, that's great. I absolutely agree with you on that.
all right. Prince Will, you're making some kind of disturbing revelations, okay? Especially when you said that Buhari would prefer an Atiku over a Tinubu. Okay, some people will consider that very, very disturbing. Buhari going against his party to, pick another person from another party. Well, on the heels of that, um, do you think Nigerians now would vote for a candidate that is not from their tribe and from their religion? These are the things that have been used to divide Nigerians in the past. This is the tool of these politicians. Do you think Nigeria is ready with the candidacy of P2B in view? And we have seen, people from all walks of life, all religions, all tribes come together, okay, to support Mr. Peter Obi. Do you think Nigerians are ready to vote away from tribe and religious sentiments?
Yes, they are not absolutely again. It's a process. Nigeria is a country that has been Nigeria is a hugely, tribal and religious country. People holding on to their tribe and religion, and people get blinded by those factors a lot of the time. So the thing is, at the end of the day, it's gonna take time. It's gonna take some years for for us to completely move away from such thinking. those primordial, way of doing things. And then you don't care about someone's ability to be a good leader or something. All you care about is if that person is from your tribe or religion. And see where we are as a country because of such kind of sentiment, that we use in determining who becomes our leader. See where we are as a nation. It's drawing us far back, and people are beginning to wake up. People are beginning to reason, properly now. People are beginning to see reasons why we should concentrate more on ability. We should concentrate more on competence and who can actually get things done and who can carry everybody along, and not someone who gets in there and starts giving opportunities or start giving positions to only people from his tribe or religion. So it's a process, and I think the process have started, and I know a lot of people have moved away from that such kind of thinking, and like I said, not absolutely everyone, but a lot of people have moved away compared to before. So long as there's a change in that regard, so long as there's a number of people who are beginning to reason the right way, it's something. It's a progress being made, so the process continues. Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Princewell, it's 10 days to election. What more do you think that those in living in diaspora can actually do to make sure that Mr. Pitt will be emerged as the winner?
Yes, I mean, like I said, since we can vote, we'll continue to lend our support. We'll continue to make our voice be heard, through online, through the media, through whatever for means that we can. So we can only do what we can, especially in regards to uh, voicing out. And like I said, a lot of us have hugely contributed, financially to the whole thing. And so we continue to lend our voice. We have relatives, we have friends, we have a lot of people in Nigeria. So we continue to reach out to them and encourage them to do the right thing, and also to remember that, look, if you vote in the wrong person, you stand to lose the most, because we are not even living in Nigeria. We don't stand to face the bad leadership firsthand. Yes, it affects us psychologically, because when it affects our relatives and friends, we feel it too, because they cry out to us for aid, they cry out to us for money and for different forms of help. So we feel it. So, but bearing the brunt firsthand, facing it firsthand, no, we don't, right? So I'm not the one to travel through the highway to be kidnapped by some rata, bandits or something. I'm not the one that would, you know, uh, go to the ATM and be queuing for long, whatever, or go to the filling station and can't get fuel to put in my car. I'm not the one using generator to power my whatever, my house or my business, right? So you're the one who bear the brunt firsthand of bad leadership. So if you don't do the right thing, you will suffer for another 4 to 8 years. So we make them understand all this. So that's what we'll continue to do, in these few remaining days to the election.
All right. All right. Finally, now, I would like to get your prediction, okay, for this election. We understand that this is a very unique election. We've not had anything like this before. A three-horse race, okay, where we have three major political parties coming out, okay, and it's going to be very keenly contested. I would like your prediction on how the election results will come. Who's going to be first, and who do you see coming second, and who do you see coming third? And also, do you see a runoff from the first ballot?
Yes, we can rule out the possibility of a runoff. And, before I talk on that, I would say um, if all things plays out the way I'm seeing it, and from the way, from the, from what we've seen with the different polls that's been conducted by different bodies, different organizations, including international organizations, international polls and all that, Peter Obi should come first. And then if things plays out, if the North goes the way I think the North, because when we talk about people voting in line with tribal and religious sentiments, the North do that a lot. I'm not saying they are the only ones who do that. The South do that too in some cases, but the North are much more inclined to vote in line with religious and tribal sentiments, right? And so, that being considered, I would say having two prominent northerners uh, uh, contesting, in the person of Atiku and Kwankwaso. So I want to believe those two would really, really, um, have a lot of votes in the north. So going by that, and I wanted to say it's somewhat hard for me to decide between APC and PDP who would come second in this election, seriously, because you can't rule out the power of a ruling political party. APC is still the ruling political party, so they could do a lot to swing votes to their side, So, but if the vote is really, really free and fair, Atiku might come second, believe me, because the note that Tinubu is kind of banking on might end up giving him a surprise of his life. They might end up shocking him. Like they will just, collect all that money from him and vote their brother. I'm telling you. So I see Atiku coming second. If Peter Obi is going to come first, then Atiku would most likely come second in this election. If they not do what the North does a lot of the time, then Atiku is likely to come second in the election. Yeah, and
all right.
Yes.
Okay, so here we have it. We have our Prince Will polls.
We have it Peter B first, Atiku second, and APC third, and then the rest follows. Anyway, thank you so much, Mr. Prince Will. It's been a pleasure having you on the program. Thank you so much for spending this little time with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Wow, Grace. So did you see that pose there? Peter B first, Atiku second, and Tinubu third. Do you agree?
Yeah, like you said, if the Northern should do what they actually do, then I see a possibility of that.
Yeah. I think I also agree with that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our viewers out there, this is where we draw the curtain on today's episode. But don't forget that you can also be part of the conversation. Yes, you can drop your comments on any of our social media platforms. Okay, we are at Obidati Family TV on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, and also on TikTok. All right, you can drop your comments on any of these platforms and we will reply. All right, you can also follow us on our individual social media handles. For me, it's at official PKACH, official PCatch. All right, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all the platforms, it's the same for me. What about you, Grace?
You can follow me on Facebook at Ife Amara, then on Instagram at Signal Empire.
All right, there you have it. Until we come your way again tomorrow at the same time. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.